Welcome to Backstage with Richard Ridge. Audible, the leading creator and provider of premium audio storytelling, is producing the world premiere of Heart, written by and starring acclaimed British performer and poet Jade Anouka. Under the direction of Ola Ince, performances begin on July 9th through August 14th at the Minetta Lane Theatre. Please say hello to Jade Anouka. How are you?
Good, thank you. Really well.
First of all, how are you and where are you?
I am in London and we've just finished our first day of rehearsals for Heart and I'm feeling really excited.
Okay, let's talk about this because you just finished up a run in Cock in the West End, right?
Yeah, I finished that on Saturday and it's now Wednesday. So yeah, it's all go, go, go.
But this is what it's all about. You know, we've been shut down for 2 years, or a little over 2 years. I mean, what was the pandemic like for you? I mean, being a mom and being shut down, like, what was that like for you?
Well, I wasn't a mum in the pandemic. That's all happened since. So that's all very new. So the pandemic was, well, I had, in truth, the play Heart was supposed to open in summer of 2020. And then, yeah, everything shut down and it was heartbreaking because it's my debut play and I was really excited about putting it on. And I'm just so happy and just honored that Audible kind of went, oh, wait a minute, that play that you were going to do, we'd love to have it. How do you feel about bringing it to New York? And I was like, yes, I love New York. And so, the idea of it premiering in New York was so exciting to me. And it just meant that I knew I had somewhere to do it. And after not being able to fly anywhere, not being able to do any theatre, to get to fly to New York and do a play that I wrote, it was just too good an opportunity.
So there's like a big silver lining to all of this for you. There you had this play thinking it was going to be done and then it wasn't being done. And then Audible got involved and said, well, when this is all over, come to New York now and we'll
exactly
here.
Exactly that. So yeah, really. So from that point of view, but I really missed theatre during the pandemic. I'm the kind of actor, yes, I do TV and film as well, but I try and do at least one play a year. And I have done since I've started acting. And so to go, it would be 3 years, 3 is before I did Cock. It was 3 years before since I did a play. So yeah, it's just been really great to be back on the stage, and I just love it. I love having just people in the room, the audience that are there, responding in the moment. It's great.
Oh, wait till you get here to New York. You are going to flip out. New York is back. The theater is back. All the marquees are lit. Audiences are coming back, and you're getting ready to play one of the most beautiful theaters in New York, the Minetta Lane.
Oh, thank you. And I've had a kind of video tour of the theater. It's gorgeous, but I've not been there. I've been near there. I've walked past there and I didn't even realize. And so, yeah, I'm so excited. And I think that's it, isn't it? There's a real buzz for theatre right now. I think having it, lay dormant for those years, actually people seem to be really wanting to just eat it all up now.
Okay, before we get into rehearsals, take me back to the beginning, how the play came about for you to write and why you wrote it.
Do you know what? It was a real... Now we're talking back in 2018, which is when I first wrote it, I wrote the first kind of iteration of it, and it was literally a kind of like, it's hard. I don't know. There's not a prettier way of describing this, as I sort of puked it out in one sitting, and I just sort of poured my heart out on a page and was just like, do you know what? It felt so necessary. It felt at that point that it was just something that was inside that needed to come out. It was like, it was something that wasn't consciously hidden, but I hadn't talked about. And I was just like, it was burning to come out. And I thought, you know what? I I think and hope that other people will connect with this story. And so I thought, let's just get it out there. And I sent it to Kate Pakenham, who's the UK producer on the show. And she was like, she said she read it in the hairdressers and cried and was like, okay, let's get it on. I'm here to help.
So how do you describe the play?
I'm never good at this. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's one woman's journey of her heart, and it's about her journey to trying to live authentically, live her true self, to follow her heart and not her mind, to try to not try to have the need to follow societal norms, to fit in, but to actually just live authentically and live her truth. And on the way, she has to kind of work out how to get past some obstacles, and some of those are internal and some of those are external.
See, I love that. I think we need these type of plays now. We've always needed them, but I think we need them now with everyone coming out of everything we've been through, of people finding their own way through their life, you know, not listening to somebody else and following your own journey and your own path.
Definitely. I think that's so it. And, you know, there's a line, it's sort of right in the beginning of the play. And it says that this story's for all the misfits or all those who have ever felt other. So, and, you know, how many of us have been in a situation where we felt othered? We felt like we didn't quite fit in, or we didn't know how we belonged, or if we wanted to belong, if we did belong. And I think that feeling is really recognizable to many people. And I say, if that's you, then you'll hopefully connect with the story.
Now, let's talk about your wonderful director.
Yes.
Ola Ince. What is it like working with her? And had you worked before with her?
Yes, I've known Ola for many years, and actually she was an assistant director on some of the trilogies that I did, which was the all-female Shakespeare trilogy that we did with the Donmar, and we actually brought it to New York. We took it to St. Anne's, first Julius Caesar, then Henry IV, and most recently The Tempest, which I think was maybe 2016, if I'm not mistaken. And so I worked with her on that. And actually, me and Ola spent a lot of time in New York going around poetry nights and seeing live music, and kind of really, so it's really great that she's on board with this, because and that we're in New York, because we have quite a lot of our relationship is in New York, connecting over stories and poetry and words and live entertainment. And so it's really great to be here. She's just brilliant. She's absolutely flying in the UK right now. I recently saw her production of Is God Is, which is actually by an American playwright, and at the Royal Court, it was amazing. And I'm just chuffed that we were able to get her for this, because she's never free. She works so much. She's so busy. So I'm really, really excited to be working with her. She's brilliant.
So what was it like being at the first rehearsal today?
It was so cool. It was really funny because our meet and greet was sort of half in the room and half on Zoom from New York. And bless them, because we had the meet and greet at 2 p.m. So that was 9 a.m. for everyone. So everyone was up early. So bless. And it was just really great to get going. It just feels like it's been a long time coming to get into the rehearsal room, and I'm really excited to be in there and to be on starting this journey of creating this story and how we're going to share it with New York audiences. I'm really, really excited.
Okay, I've talked to many people over the years, many actors, including Vanessa Redgrave, of doing a one-person show when it's just you up there. And how exciting is that for you? How challenging is that for you? Like, what is it like for you so far?
Yeah, do you know, I've done a one-woman show before. It wasn't one that I wrote. And I remember being completely terrified, because I was like, wow, there is no one else that can help you out of any situation. You know, normally it's you and your castmates, you're a team, you help each other out. There's no one there. And this time round, I'm like, oh, but there's an extra layer in that. I can't even fall back on the writing because that's me as well. So there is, do you know what, I am really excited to tell, I'm really excited to tell this story. I, I wrote it and I feel like it's one that people um, will feel a lot coming out of it, having listened to it. And I feel like it needs to be told. Feels like it's a story that I've never seen on stage before. But also, yeah, it is terrifying. It's kind of equal amounts of terrifying and really excited. And it's the beginning of the journey. Who knows what I'm going to think in 3-4 weeks, when we get into the theatre, which will be so exciting. But yeah, right now it's a lot. I remember thinking you have to really, really, pace yourself and balance your energy, because it's a lot up there and you want to give it your all, obviously, and that it's just you, so what are you going to do? So you fall back. And also, I mean, the team that we've got attached to Heart is amazing. Our design team are, oh my goodness, I mean, I think 2 of them are Tony nominated this season, and it's just amazing. And I just know that I'm being kind of held up by people at the top of their game, so that all really helps.
I love that you call it exciting and terrifying at the same time, because everyone I've spoken to said the same thing. You should be and you should be terrified at the same time to make that connection and that magic between you and your audience.
Yeah, totally. I can't wait.
All right, now, how excited are you and thrilled that Audible is doing this? And audio has already been, you've already recorded the audio version of this, right?
Yeah. It's kind of amazing because, for me, it's my first, I've written a lot of poetry before, but it's my first play, my first sort of full length piece. And that story is now shared like internationally across the globe is it's kind of overwhelming. I'm not actually computing it, because when you think about it, that's incredible. It really is. And I'm so thankful for Audible for like believing in the story and believing in my writing, that you would do that and have such a kind of big release for the play. And I'm hoping that people that listen to it, who are in New York area this summer, that do listen to it and come and experience the whole package as well, because I hope that it teases people to come and see the whole thing, see it live.
I think it will. But like I said, what I also love about Audible is they're letting your play go all around the world now for people who can't come to New York City. That's the thrilling thing, what Audible does.
Totally. Oh my gosh, totally. That's brilliant. You can listen to the story in your living room, in your bath, on a walk with your dog, anywhere in the world. Isn't that thrilling? I'd love to know the most extreme and crazy places that people are listening to Heart.
How wonderful was it recording it?
It was great. Do you know what? I actually recorded it before I had my daughter. I was about 8.5 months pregnant. When we were recording it last year, towards the end of last year, and we wanted to, it was great because we got to work on the script a bit more, and we wanted to get it out there, as so I didn't have to be recording it with a newborn, and it meant that we really got the play to a really good place, and which means we're going into rehearsal now with a really good position. But yeah, it was so exciting recording it and getting back into the rehearsal room and sort of working out the script, with the dramaturgically working out if we're happy with it, and getting to say those words. It's great.
Oh my gosh, so your daughter was still inside you, so I think you're going to have a theatrical, that you already have one, but I mean, you're going to have a theatrical young lady who's listening to mom. Was it soothing? Like, 8.5 is almost time to deliver. So when you were recording it, was she moving around in there? Was she what was it like?
Yeah, she was moving around a lot at the time. I remember that. And it was interesting as well, because I'm going through the emotions of the character, and I guess she's sort of sensing that and that moving around. But it's also kind of special that she was there from the beginning, and she was there, and everyone who's listening is like, she was there when that was created. It is a sort of weird, I mean, but yeah, she is so theatrical. I mean, I've just finished Cock. I started that when she was 7 weeks old. So she's lived her life either in a rehearsal room or backstage at the theatre. So,
Oh, see, I love that you started her really early. All my friends
yeah.
that have had babies all like, no, they go to the theater. They sit with the nanny or in the dressing room, and they get caught up in the worlds of a theater folk
Yeah.
right away.
Yeah, she's right in there.
So, talking about youth, growing up, where did your love for performing begin? And what were your earliest creative outlets growing up?
It's do you know what? I don't know where it came from, except maybe that I was the youngest child for 10 years, and then I was the middle child. And so I needed to get people to pay attention to me in my family. But I also, my grandmother is, she wrote poetry, she wrote songs, and she actually wrote a little book that was had loads of short songs about Trinidad, which is where she's from, and like teaching you about plants from Trinidad, the fruit, and nature, and I used to love them, and I used to perform them to my family, and I'd rope in my little cousins to be like, I'm playing the cat, you're playing the mouse, and we're doing this poem, we're going to perform it, and we'd go and we'd make like tales, and we'd go and perform it in the living room, we'd make everyone, and I think that kind of just wanting attention at home. And I remember then that my mum sort of at one stage was like, okay, on the weekends you've got so much energy, and there was this new drama club, this sort of part-time Saturday drama school that started up, and she was like, I think it would be good if you have an outlet for all of your creative energy. And I went there and sort of took it from there, and I suddenly realized more and more that could be something that I did as an actual job rather than just a kind of outlet of energy, and as a hobby. So yeah.
Yeah. Now, you have done so many of the great roles from the Shakespeare canon, and I was wondering, where did your love for Shakespeare begin?
Do you know what? I really, really hated it at school. I didn't like it at school, and I even at drama school, I went to drama school and I did 3 years training, and even there, I didn't really get it. And I remember I was very lucky, as I just before I graduated, I got a job at the Royal Shakespeare Company, and I did 2 plays. I was what we call spare carrier number 3, standing at the back. I say sort of yes, hello, maybe if I'm lucky. And but while I was there, I learned. I watched amazing actors perform. I watched amazing directors direct, and I sort of found a love for it. And I also found a need and a desire to kind of make theatre or Shakespeare, teach it in the way that it wasn't taught me. And while I was there, I actually got a postgraduate award, which is kind of higher education qualification to teach Shakespeare, because I was like, I know there's a way that Shakespeare can be really exciting for young people, and I don't think it's always taught that way. And I just got really into it, and the more Shakespeare I did, the more I wanted to push the kind of boundaries of how we do Shakespeare. And so being part of the all-female trilogy that Philip Lloyd directed was just, it was exactly what I wanted, and exactly how I think Shakespeare should be, just completely pushing the boundaries, not what you expect. And I think a lot of young people came and saw that and were like, oh, wait, surely they all thought we put it into our own modern day language. And I was like, no, we didn't at all. It was all Shakespeare's words. So yeah, that's a kind of long-winded story. It came gradually.
I love that. Is there a role you want to grow into? Is there a Shakespearean role that should be like, oh, when I get to be a certain age, I want to tackle her or tackle him?
Or tackle him. I mean, it'll probably be a him, because they're just the better roles, I think. There are so many, I I mean, there are so many. I'd love to play Othello. I'd love to play Hamlet. I'd love to play all the greats, and yeah, I mean, I'd take them all on, really. I'd love to. I think getting a taste for it with Mark Antony and Ariel and in Julius Caesar and and Hotspur, sorry, gave me a taste. I was like, oh wow, these words that the guys get to say, they are really powerful. They're really cool. So I'd love to do some more of them.
See, I love that in school you hated Shakespeare and now you're like, you love it and you want to tackle all these incredible roles. I love how it's the pendulum swung for you.
Yeah, totally.
That's great. You know, you're also known to millions of fans around the world for playing Ruta the Witch on HBO's His Dark Material. I mean, how incredible and how much fun is it playing that and doing that?
It's awesome. I remember when I for the last season, because obviously we filmed the new season already, but for the previous season, when I first got up there and I was learning to fly, and I was literally like being held up and fighting and flying and learning fight routines, and I was thinking, how is this my job? This is amazing. It was a real dream job. I mean, really fun, great team. And going back again, I mean, this season I filmed while I was pregnant and it was really fun to be able to do that and go back to that character because she's awesome. I'm really excited for people to see season 3, the finale of the trilogy. Yeah.
Oh, I love, so season 3 has happened. Obviously you filmed it.
It's all filmed. It's in the can, just waiting for that release date.
I love it. Okay, so another question I have for you. How has being a mom changed the way you look at your life and career?
That's a really good question. I feel like I have to be in a good way. Well, one, I think I'm way more productive in that before I could have a whole day and I would procrastinate for most of it. Whereas now I'm like, okay, she's asleep. I've got half an hour. I'm going to do all of my emails now. You know, you become quite productive like that. But in terms of a kind of bigger picture, I guess work has to be really important in order to, especially the kind of work that's going to take you away from her or take you out in the evenings or missing stuff. It's like, okay, you have to really go, why am I taking this role? And it has to kind of meet the kind of levels of heart have to be higher, I think. So otherwise it's not worth going. It's not worth leaving her for.
Yeah. Beautiful. I love to talk to new parents who are like, they're like, I look at my career in a different way, but they're also like, I have a little one to come home to, that if things don't always go right, I'm like, I have this little person that has just entered the world.
Oh, well, that's it as well. You know, things that are maybe not going too well, they just don't sit with you for that long because it just doesn't matter as much. You know, you might have not got an audition, you know, or something's not gone your way. And, you know, previously I would have probably dwelled on it for way longer. Whereas now I just see a smiling face and I'm like, do you know what? That wasn't for me. Next, on to the next. Yeah, definitely.
Next to the next hour you get when she's napping to move on to the next thing you have to do, right?
Yeah.
You know, finally, what are you looking forward to the most with bringing Heart to New York and performing it here?
I'm just really looking forward to performing to New York audiences. Like you said, they're brilliant. And I've been lucky to perform in New York before, and I love the audiences. I love how much New York audiences love theatre, and I'm really excited to share my story. And you know, this young woman from London, I hope her story touches the hearts of the New Yorkians, I guess.
I like that word. It's going to, like I said, I fell in love with you at St. Anne's Warehouse. I saw the trilogy. I saw the Shakespearean pieces you did here. It's like, you're going to have such a fabulous time when you come here. Since, you know, it's been a while since you've been here, you're going to have the time of your life here performing your beautiful work here at the Minetta Lane.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, you're very welcome. So once again, Audible Theatre is presenting the world premiere of Heart, written and performed by Jade Anouka. It will run from July 9th through August 14th at the Minetta Lane Theatre. Tickets are available at hearttheplay.com. I will be there, Jade. I cannot wait to see you. Have a great time. Finish your rehearsals in London, and we will see you here in New York. All righty?
Can't wait. Thank you so much.
Take care, everyone.